So to call a subject prehistory would at first sight appear absurd. Point 1 But it has become usual to use the word, and there are no more scientific expressions with which to replace them. Thus prehistory may be defined as the study of man from the time of his emergence as a man to the period when his history is recorded. In order to understand that culture is the fruit of humanity, we have to know how it reconciled itself to the conditions in those times. In fact, the geography of mankind should enlighten us as regards the relationship that exists between geography and the condition of life and culture. As the chronology of the prehistoric age is ultimately bound up with the chronology of rivers, the study of the rivers is very important for the prehistorian. The rivers have been the lifeblood of people at all times. The rivers at all times have supplied man with water, food and transport facilities. Moreover, the pebbles in the rivers served as raw materials for the manufacture of implements by the primitive man. Remains of the weapons of the primitive man have been found on the banks of the rivers. The Hampasagara on the Tungabhadra, which have been studied in detailed phases, may be cited. Some ancient stone implements were found beneath a few feet of loose black soil. The stone implements used by the primitive man depended upon the availability of the source material. All stones do not possess the same strength and cannot be shaped in the same way. In Northern Europe, before the New Stone Age, they used flint for their implements, because they could be given the desired shape. But in Africa and India the primitive man had to use the low-grade local stones. This difference in the raw material can be very well observed by the finish given to the stone and other techniques used in the implements. The hand axe and the small broad-edged axes are the best examples of industries of the old storage. The existence of hand axes exclusively in the southern plateau, Karnataka and South India, has a symbolic significance. The study of these hand axes reminds us the axes of Europe and Africa. But the broad-edge axes resemble those of Java and Burma. A cave in Kibanahalli village, Tipcha Taluk, represents the most important settlement of the caveman in Karnataka. This settlement is found at the foot of the hills of Banasandra. Here there are many dried streams in which are found many weapons and implements. In the collection are found rastro-carinate-like tools, which was probably used for digging roots. Some weapons shaped in the form of a beak resemble the Clacton on Sea of England. Lot of Abamilian axes are found. Thinly shaped cutting implements were probably used to cut branches of the trees. Some round implements resemble the Acheulean weapons. Thin scrapers made of wood are found. These were probably used to scrape the skins of animals. The availability of such scrapers in Kibanahalli shows that the primitive men in addition to stone weapon also used wooden ones. The hollow scrapers were used to smoothen the surface of the barks of trees. These were found together with the bark of trees in England. But in India the trees are spoiled because of the tropical climate. The borers, another important of the implements, were used to make holes in the skin, after it was scraped. In 1955 Joshi excavated 21 settlements on the banks of river Malaprabha. Among them Manaski and Kyad in the Malaprabha Valley are the most important retreats of the primitive Stone Age man. The implements like the hand axe and tools used for splitting belonging to the latter Acheulean period, found in the Kyad settlement, have been given fine polish and finish and they make interesting reading. The other important settlement brought to light by foot and are found in Chikamagalur district to the southwest of Lingadahalli and Bellary in a village called Halakundi. Talia at Chitradurga, Nidahatta in Chikamagalur, Nyamati in the district of Shimoga, Kurukuppa in Bellary district Godinuru, Daroji and Anguru are other settlements which foot excavated. Another important settlement which the Archaeological Department of Mysore excavated recently, is in Bagalkot in Bijapur district. In the center of the Ghataprabha river is found an extensive stretch of stone bed. It is from here that the Abelian and Acheulean implements are collected in large numbers. Among these many implements are made of sandstones. The round-shaped implements of the later Acheulean period are available here, but they are very few in number. This is what we know about the primitive man in Karnataka. His life was an unenviable one and he spent most of his life in hunting and fishing, and in collecting food for himself and his family. 30. The transition from the Old Stone to the New Stone Age is called